Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and tonight on Whiskey Business, it's a smaller scaled version of our annual Halloween show, but just as frightening and scary, with our returning guest from Columbus Ghost Tours, Bucky Cutright, tonight on Whiskey Business. I'm Dieter Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business. As you know, or you should know by now, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And yes, we are still in my home, but we are broadcasting our annual Halloween episodes, scaled down just a bit. Not a big to do, but
Terrace.
Halloween Hansberry over here. By the way, what's that podcast?
The Empty Coffin podcast on all your favorite podcasts.
I listened to it. It's very well put together.
Yes,
Thanks, buddy.
it is very well put together, unlike Greg. Yes. But Halloween Hansberry still wanted to do something different, so we came down to the haunted poker room at the Casa Tripod.
Is it?
The haunted poker room where many a gambling soul have lost what they thought were their lives and livelihood at this table. Chip. Yes. Oh, the frightening tales galore that I could share with you over the years. Actually, some scary shit has happened at this table over the years. And we welcome back Bucky Cutright from Columbus Ghost Tours.
Hi, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
You actually, it seems like whenever you come here, we do get a different locale because we were out in the pond one year.
Yes, we were.
We were outside.
Yeah.
Which we thought about doing that again, but with the rain and everything. And
Chip called it the swamp.
the swamp. He called it the swamp. It is reminiscent of the swamp on
especially with this
MASH.
weather.
Yeah, but it's the pond.
The swamp from
Because
MASH.
it's a pond.
What am I eating
And I
right
don't
now?
want to.
You're eating what you are eating, my friend.
what am I eating?
Let me tell you a little something about today because I made a note. It is our unofficial pizza sponsor, Gatto's Pizza on 3420 Indianola, but it is also award-winning #1 according to Family Destination, which apparently comes up with a best of list. They made a list of legendary pizzas in Ohio that are worth a road trip, and Gatto's #1. Number one on the list.
Fantastic.
Shout out and nod to Gatto's.
Gotta get a Gatto's.
3420 Indianola Avenue. If you're in Columbus, Ohio, check it out. Delivery, dine in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to go there and just dine in. There's something about eating a pizza at the restaurant. Sometimes it's just a little
That's
different.
nice.
Right off 71 on Indianola. Right off 71.
And our guest bottle tonight is scary as well, I think. This is Dick's Bastard Blend Part 2, 112 proof.
Wow.
And it says on that, it says spin the wheel. What this is actually is a remnants bottle from our friends at Echo Spirits as they were putting together.
You're blocking your face.
Am I blocking my face?
Yeah.
Well, I don't care. I want them to see the bottle.
I only want to see your face, too.
Yeah. I want them to see the bottle. This is a
I
remnants
tune in for the bottle, but someone
that they
might tune in for the
put
face.
together. Doubt it. That they put together. And last time I saw Joe and checked on our
Nice.
whiskey, which we'll be sharing at a later date this year because we are approaching the 2-year maturation period of our. Can you believe it's
It'll
been
be
2 years?
officially bourbon at that point.
Yeah, but we're not going to release it for another 6 months after that.
Okay.
It still needs to age a little bit, but
Summer
I'll-
party.
Yeah, I'll let you guys determine where we're at with it in December when we do a podcast. But he gave me this bottle on the way out and said, have at it, do what you will. And since it's kind of handwritten and kind of spooky, was that like a dead man would have written that before he died, Bucky?
Anything could be in that bottle.
Right.
Anything could be in that bottle.
So thank you, Joe and
Yeah.
Nikhil
We
from
don't know what
Echo
it is.
Spirits for our guest bottle this evening. And I've not even tried it. Have you guys seen
No,
it?
I
So
wouldn't.
cheers. Bucky,
Cheers.
welcome back, dude.
Cheers. Thank you
Great
for
to
having
have
me.
you. We're looking
Thanks for
forward
having
to
me all.
more new scary stories that I'm sure you've come across and have discovered along the way. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. And the tour's going well.
They are going very well. Yeah, we recently launched our new Ghost of German Village tour, which has been wildly successful. So Yeah,
This is good.
I know it is. It's-
It's kind of hot.
It's a little hot. Well, it's what is that? 112 proof.
Yeah.
If you take
112.
the pizza, a bite of the pepperoni pizza, it kind of it's
Spices
like a
it
little
up.
Italian spicy.
And much like anybody that puts a remnant bottle together, I said, "Do you know what's in here?" And he just looked at me and shook his head. He goes, "No, nobody wrote anything down." So this is like a one and done, one and done. And it's too bad because you can sell this stuff, boys. Sorry.
it's actually
Right.
pretty tasty.
Yeah.
It is.
But thank you. Yeah.
I'm
So
tasting
everything's
hints
going
of
to Ghost of
Buffalo
German
Trace.
Village stores. That's
Yes.
like a whole new avenue, a whole new
Yeah.
part of the tour that was never explored before.
Yeah, German Village is sort of spread out a bit, so it was kind of hard to write a tour that would be a concise area, like walking points and stuff. But we decided to give it a go, and I think we've come up with a pretty successful route through the village.
How many stops?
Well, quite a few actually. We don't go inside any place on this particular tour, though. It is all outdoor, and we hit a lot of the major, like in the park. There's a couple private homes, a lot of the major restaurants, and Schmidt's. The old Mohawk has ghost stories.
Schmitz has a ghost story.
Schmitz has a
'Cause,
ghost story.
see, he's part of the Schmitz
Oh,
family
yes.
by marriage only.
The word is,
Oh, yes.
is the upstairs, I guess, is supposed to be on. It was originally, you probably know this, a packing
probably,
plant
yeah.
that
Yes.
it caught on fire.
Gee, what do I need,
and,
Bucky? I was
what
just
do you mean?
Anyway, I'm
This is
just
the
gonna
only
go
thing
ahead
I
and
know.
I'll just take that, and you guys can.
You keep drinking, Bucky. And then,
Uh,
no,
Yeah, but-
they say that you hear like the footsteps or see like a waitress.
There's a friendly old man in
Yeah,
a white butcher's apron waving at people in the mirror upstairs, so in the banquet room.
Has your wife confirmed this?
My brother-in-law has.
Okay. Yeah.
Your brother-in-law seen him? No.
He said he's heard some silly things, but he hasn't said anything. He
So
said,
is
"I've
what,
heard
he, is
stuff."
what he's saying pretty
Yeah.
on point?
Yeah, no, it is, and that's what when I've spoken with him
Okay,
as well
so-
about stuff. We were originally going to try to do a paranormal tour, standalone tour and investigation upstairs. Just do that as a standalone thing. So I don't know, it's still in the works, possibly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what is the actual story? Why is that person haunting Schmitz?
Well, it's thought to be Fred J. Schmidt, the founder of the meat packing company way back in the 1886, and he shows up with his friends. He's not a lone ghost. And he tends to be seasonal. It's often in the winter around Christmas time whenever he and his gaggle of friends show up.
He's a party animal. Like
Yeah,
you, you know?
yeah. And one of his friends, and I can't remember the guy's name right now, but he was a bit of a womanizer, despite the fact that he'd slather on all the cologne and stuff. And one of the managers several years ago, I was walking through the upstairs with her and she was gathering stories, and she was like, "Yeah, you can always tell whenever they show up. You can smell his cologne, in the offices and stuff upstairs." Which, so there's a ghost with some swagger at Schmidt's. Yeah.
I hope. Well, you know what? I hope that if I do wind up haunting something,
I'm
or
sure you
somebody,
will. More than right now.
yeah, because I'm sure it's going to be very difficult. I don't think I'm going to pass through. I think I'm going to get held up.
Yeah, man.
when that time comes. But to your point, I hope I have ghost friends.
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah,
Right.
to hang out with
that would be-
afterwards.
the way I've lived my life, if I die and I'm a ghost and
You're
I
a
don't
social
have friends,
ghost,
that just doesn't seem right.
No.
That doesn't seem fair. I'll wait for you guys.
What's the is
and then
Bill?
we'll do a podcast. Yeah. We'll do a podcast. And I was going to say heaven, but, dress lightly. It might be hell.
Bring some chicken wings.
So a lot of stops in German
Yeah,
Village.
yeah. We stop. Yeah, it wends its way through. It starts in Schiller Park and it goes all the way up to Livingston Avenue and then back down. So it's a bit of a long walk, but it's a lot of really, really interesting stories. And this tour is different than many of the others that we've done. We've gathered most of these stories personally from the people who had the experiences. And a lot of the times, our other tours, we started them off as historical tours, basically where we get the history of the place and some of any trauma that might have happened there, and pair those things up for fun ghost stories, But and over time, like we'd gather stories from the people that are in these spaces where we're telling them. But this one is almost entirely like that, just folks telling us the creepy things they've had happen in German Village.
So counting, and then we're going to come back to some more German Village stories here in just a second. So counting the German Village tour, how many actual tours are there now that you are guiding people around and scaring people with?
Well, we have a few. We have our Creepy Columbus tour that's every night this month. That goes through downtown Columbus. We have, which it's entirely within a door district, so it is for 12 and up. But if you're an adult and want to, you can get a drink and saunter through
Nice.
the tour route with us.
Spirits and spirits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is our other tour is Booze and Booze. Yeah, so
Okay, there
on
you go.
Wednesdays and Thursdays we do a historic tavern tour. Where you can be inside these old bars and restaurants and you hear the ghost stories and history. We also have a day tour, Green Lawn Cemetery, and a night tour in Green Lawn Cemetery, and then the German Village tour. Now, another thing we've started doing that's new over the past year is these standalone tours and investigations of different institutions. One is the Thurber House, which
I've always heard was definitely haunted.
damn it, we were thinking about where to do this. I'm like, I probably should have asked them.
Yeah,
That would have been fun to be in there, sitting around Thurber's dining room table, getting drunk and telling stories.
I have a first edition of a James Thurber.
Oh, you do?
Upstairs.
Which one?
I have two actually. One is the one with the flowers. What's I can go get it at some point if you want me to. And the other one is the one that there was a TV show actually based on it back in the 60s.
Was that the
Hawaii
Secret
Five-O.
Life of Walter Smitty?
No.
The A-Team.
That was 80s, Greg.
Columbo. 60s. 60s. But Gunsmoke.
The
Gunsmoke.
names escape me at the moment.
Petticoat Junction.
Very scary.
The Thurber House is one place where we do these a tour and an investigation and wild stuff there. Like that, I actually was getting ready to train someone else to do those, and one of the staff members at Thurber House said, "Well, let me just send you the ghost file that we have."
Ghost file.
And basically, from the time that house was built in 1873 until last week, there have been paranormal encounters in that building. It's been
Do you
consistent.
think it's Thurber?
No.
No.
Is this the Thurber House that's on campus, the area near Ohio State?
No, it's near the Central or the Museum of Art downtown on Jefferson Avenue. So, it's just nuts. Like we started doing the investigations there, and wasn't really sure how much information or evidence people would find, but yeah, there was some really, really, really wild stuff and,
That you found specifically with your crew.
Yeah.
Oh.
What we do is these standalone events. You get a tour of the space, and then we break everybody up into groups, and we got them some ghost hunting equipment, and we let them have at different spaces in the house.
Turn the lights off.
People have the option to do that if they want to. Yeah. But yeah, so we've been doing. So there's there, and also the Cultural Arts Center on the south end of downtown. That was an 1861 arsenal for the Ohio militia that was turned into an arts center in the 1970s. That was one time where society seemed to get things right in terms of that progression, and it's pretty active. It's the site of the first public execution in Columbus, so it's got some stories. And then also another place we just added is the Central Ohio Fire Museum on
I
Forest.
was just there. There was a film gathering there, and that place is awesome.
It is amazing. Yeah.
It was the flower book that was the last flower.
The Last Flower. Okay.
The Last
I haven't
Flower.
read that one.
I have it. I have a first edition and hardcover of that, and My World and Welcome to It. was the other one.
The one.
The other Thurber. And Thurber's Dogs. I have a copy of Thurber's
Those
Dogs,
dogs, yeah.
as well. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there was
Okay.
somebody,
Duly noted.
one of the staff members
First
at the Thurber house actually at one point thought that they saw one of the dog's ghosts one day. So yes,
for those that don't know, dogs were a big part of
Their life.
of Thurber's life and his stories and his books and so forth. And yeah.
Yeah, he had a dog, Muggs, an Airedale Terrier that bit every single human I'd ever met, and he wrote a book about it called Muggs, the Dog That Bit People. And
He was running out of titles.
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was wildly successful.
I have a T-shirt.
I have it.
I have a Muggs. The Muggs James Thurber T-shirt upstairs.
Is it there needs to be a bar named after it if there isn't.
There should be. There isn't, but I have a shirt too, a Muggs shirt. So yeah, yeah. I know. Cheers.
Cheers, Muggs. There you go.
Yeah, here's a mug.
The silliest
So-
thing makes me happy.
Yeah. So Muggs, whenever he would bite people, Thurber's mother would just bake cookies for them rather than,
Pay 'em off
because
for
they
cookies.
weren't so litigious in those days. And there were times that she had to bake cookies for the entire block, 'cause this dog bit everybody. And so James Thurber, I do the night tours at Green Lawn Cemetery. He's probably the most famous person that's interred there, but nobody can ever find his grave because it's just one of those very common little flat granite markers. And several years back, Green Lawn Cemetery, they decided to erect a monument to Muggs. And
To the dog.
yeah, so it's placed by Thurber's grave, which is extremely helpful. Like a couple years ago, I did a tour for a senior center out of Bexley, and as soon as we got there, these couple of women got off the bus and said, "For the love of God, can you tell us where Thurber's buried?" And I'm like, "Well, for the love of God, you could
For the
stop.
love of God.
You could
For the
stop.
love of all that is holy."
Yeah, I was like, if you stop at the office, they'll show you. They'll give you a map. But now there's this granite marker, this big tall marker that has a bronze statue of Muggs, the dog, based on Thurber's drawing of him, and it's a great 3D rendering. And he's just, got his head resting on his paw, and he's got this big grimace on his face. And beneath it says, "In memory of Muggs Thurber." Nobody knew exactly what was the matter with him. And then you have this pissed off pooch on his pedestal, and it's right next to Thurber's grave. So it helps a lot for people locating.
It's funny they did that instead of a monument to him.
Yeah,
They did it to his
yeah,
dog.
no, they did.
I think given what I know about Thurber, he probably would have
probably
preferred that.
would've- yeah,
Probably would have
yeah.
preferred
Yeah.
that. The dogs were a big part of him and his work.
I don't want to.
He's sitting very
What?
straight now. When I adjusted the camera, he was like back.
He was
Oh.
back then. I see.
Now it's like this.
I'm sorry.
He
you're moving around.
used the word erect once. And,
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
Sorry, you can cut that part.
whiskey.
Jason, ladies and gentlemen, our
Hey, Jason.
de facto cameraman. Thank you, Jason.
This might be a good time, Dino. I brought a tool.
But I saw it, the theremin.
Yeah, this is. I thought it might come in handy today. Whenever.
See, that should have been playing it during the whole time he's
yeah,
talking.
Yeah, what have you been waiting on? What have you been waiting on?
I didn't want to steal his thunder. It's
No,
still Bucky's
it
thunder.
adds to his
Oh
thunder.
no, I can just.
He's got scarier stuff
speak
coming,
over
I'm
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, all about the murders.
You can use it when I tell the haunted poker story.
Okay, all right.
Later.
With
well,
the
it's right
picture
here,
behind
just in
you. Don't forget
case.
the picture.
The
Anybody
picture,
just let
that's
me know
part-
when you
that's
need
part
the
of it.
theremin and all that.
On
Yeah,
deck.
there's a story. There's a story.
Just always have it on.
There's a story, a haunted poker story.
Are you doing it right now?
About this guy right here.
Okay.
Yeah, who's no longer with us. I'll tell it later if I remember. Don't drink too much of this 112 proof whiskey.
Yeah.
This 112 proof whiskey is
Yeah.
get a lot. Bring it on. I need to forget.
Getting
So, anyway.
loose.
What?
Jay, you need a little topper? Go ahead, help
Yeah,
yourself, buddy.
don't
Dude,
this.
you're part of the
We
family
don't.
here,
We
Jay.
don't rest on.
Come
on-
on. You already
formalities
you're
here,
working. You're,
friend.
the camera look at her.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right, so let's back up. Let's go back to German Village for a second.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Schmitz, but was there any particular story on this tour that stands out to you that actually gave you the willies a little bit? I know that's hard to do because you kind of
Yeah.
heard and seen it almost all
Yeah.
to some level, but and that's a good question too. Do you still get kind of freaked out.
If there's a really good story, yeah, it'll give me the
It will?
shivers. Yeah, and that's that's a sign of like particularly whenever things fit together from different locations.
Makes sense, yeah.
On this German village tour, when I was researching it, I found a story about a murder that had taken place out in front of Lindy's, and it was brutal, and I don't want to give too much of this away, but basically what happened, there were these two guys who took a 25-year-old man. One of them held his arms behind his chest and get your theremin ready. The other one just went at it, like stabbed him like multiple times. Yeah, right.
That was like
yeah,
That was in your stabbing.
Yeah.
and so it turns out, as I was doing research, that one of those guys who was one of the perpetrators of that crime several years later would be stabbed to death in a house in German Village, and is associated with a ghost story there as well. So I was like, "Ooh, this guy's got two."
He's a twofer.
Yeah, he
Ironic.
is. He's a twofer. Yeah, he created one ghost and then he became one, which I think is kind of a fun clincher for the tour. Like when people learn about this first thing, they're like, "Oh, that's horrible," and and incredibly violent, and
Yeah.
and it lends possibly to some experiences that they've had at Lindy's, and then at the end of the tour to find out, oh wait, he ended up getting his comeuppance,
You come from a
stabbed in the
historical
groin.
perspective. Is there like a metaphysical tie-in, you think, too? Like this guy was just so dark and evil that he just left his stamp on in the metaverse.
Possibly, sort of like a stain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
I think if you murder somebody, you're a good chance you're leaving a stain.
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah,
on,
well, yeah,
on your
so-
soul and your life and
the
in
brick
the afterlife.
and
Yeah.
the brick sidewalks, the quaint, charming brick sidewalks of German Village. I think that and his whole family, they were actually responsible for yet another ghost story as well in German Village. So yeah, he came from
An evil crew.
some rough characters. Yeah, indeed. So, yeah. So there's that. There is a really interesting story that I collected from a German Village born and raised resident, and it was one day in the late 70s. She was around 12 years old. She had just finished doing her Sunday morning paper route. And her and some friends who also had a Sunday morning paper route decided that they were going to walk to the White Castle on High Street. And as they were passing this one house, they knew this house was abandoned because there was no one living in it at the time. They were 12-year-olds with a paper route in German Village. They're passing the house. All of a sudden they hear oompa music. And
Like German.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was an accordion. She described it. It was accordion music, but very German. And as they're stepping by this house, they look up and they see on the second floor there's a light on on the second floor windows, and it was, again, they knew it was vacant, and there was a young girl in a dirndl.
What's a dirndl?
That is a German sort of a dress, like what they wear at Schmidt's, basically. Whenever you,
Did you know that they wear dirndls at Schmidt's?
yeah.
Did you know they were called dirndls?
I did.
Yeah.
My wife has one.
Did she get a dirndl?
yeah.
They're like the female version of
Does
the
she-
lederhosen.
Yes. So she wears that for you, the dirndl?
She has.
You ever ask her to put on the dirndl?
For Halloween once.
Okay.
we're getting dirndl.
Okay.
Yeah. So these three children saw this young girl staring out the windows of this house that they knew was unoccupied, looking at them on the street, and they're looking at her, and then all of a sudden the music stops, she vanishes, and the lights go dark, and they ran the rest of the way to White Castle.
I like the White Castle.
White
Yeah.
Castle.
Did they get to eat White Castle?
White Castle.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
the safe haven.
Yeah.
White Castle.
They're within the battlements of White Castle. Yes, they felt
battlements of the castle walls of
yes,
White.
Castle. Yeah, so Castle White. They were safe with their crave case in hand.
White
but
is pure.
Yes.
White is safe. White is
And tasty.
White Castle. And it's still there today.
To this very
It's causing
day.
diarrhea.
Ooh, that's scary. Hey, there goes our sponsor, man.
You want to try it, Dino? You're looking
No,
at
actually, I'm just kind of like very curious about your choices as to when you decide to use it. Yeah.
White Castle's scary.
It's scary. Which White Castle is it?
It's the one on Green Lawn. And,
Green Lawn and High Street.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that they were
It's still
running.
there to this very
It
day.
is to this very
It's
day.
good. I just had a toast breakfast toast sandwich there not too long ago.
White Castle has really good breakfast. It's underappreciated breakfast.
I agree.
It's a good way to forget about the ghost that haunts you too. Yeah, suddenly have something else a little more pressing.
Right.
So what year was this happening?
This is in the late 70s.
Late
Whenever,
70s,
yeah, whenever that
Okay,
occurred.
okay.
Was German Village, the 1880s? When was like Columbus booming? Like I've always thought German Village was one of the first like
Major neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So it was. People started moving into the German Village area around 1812, but it really was between 1840s and 1860s that that neighborhood flourished when a lot of people were moving in, and it became a sort of a boom village. Yeah, it was just referred to as Old South End then. Yeah.
So it wasn't called German Village.
It didn't
back
get the
then?
nickname German Village until it was in the late 60s, early 70s. A guy named Frank Fletch decided that he recognized the beauty and the quaintness of the neighborhood, and he started the German Village Society, which led to the largest private restoration of a historic
Okay, so
neighborhood.
it wasn't so much that German descendants lived in the village, so much as it was the architecture and the way it looked.
No, actually, it was German. It was German immigrants that settled it.
Okay. All right.
They came to Columbus. So George Washington's idea of the National Road that would go from Cumberland, Maryland to the Pacific Ocean, it dead-ended in Columbus in 1831. So this was pretty much like the end of the line. A lot of these people
Okay.
that were coming to America
I
and
did
they
not
were
know that.
traveling west, they got to Columbus, and that was sort of as far as they could go. So a lot of Germans ended up settling in the South End, and and it became very popular until
Because they built their own houses out of the bricks.
They did. Yeah, they had 8 brick manufacturing plants in German Village, and all those bricks were original initially. Now you'll see a lot of them, like in front of Schmidt's, that say Nelsonville block or something like that have been replaced. But so. The Germans were pretty popular. The village was until World War One. And
What happened there?
World War with
That'll do a lot to.
Well, at least there wasn't a second World War.
Yeah, thank God.
Come on.
That really it was it was said that they actually at the base of the Schiller statue in Schiller Park they would burn German books and
Wow.
even it's been rumored that they would slaughter dogs that had German
No,
Dachshunds,
Shepherd?
German Shepherds, Dachshunds, that sort of thing.
La, la,
Yeah,
la, la, la.
yeah.
I don't wanna hear
Yeah, I know people get a lot more upset about the dead animal stories than the human ones, which I was actually talking about that dog ghost earlier. I thought about writing a animal tour for downtown Columbus,
that'd
because
be
there are
fun.
a lot of ghost stories at
yeah.
the Central Fire Museum where you were at. They sometimes hear the whinnying and neighing of the horses that used to pull the wagons. I don't know if you noticed whenever you're in there, but at the very back there are these double doors. That's where the stalls were.
Yeah.
And you can see
I was back there.
You see the dents in the
see it.
doors from where the horses were so well trained. They'd start kicking as soon as the bells would be ringing.
Right.
But yeah, people do get a lot more upset whenever they hear dead animal stories versus dead people ones, and so it's, just be one of those really depressing tours you'd want to slit your own throat at the end of it.
So let's go with the flow here. You mentioned the Central Ohio Fire Museum, which, by the way, if you get a chance to check that place out, it's amazing. I didn't even know it existed until we had this film gathering down there.
Yeah.
And it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And they've just recently got more funding, and they've kind of spruced it up a little bit.
Yep.
And it's great. It's a great place to take your family and check out some history.
Yeah.
But now you tell me that there's actually haunted history.
Oh
as
yes,
well.
there is a bit of haunted history there. Yeah, and it's it was built as an engine house in 1908, and it operated as one until I believe, late 70s, and then it was late 60s and early 80s is when they transformed it into the Central Ohio Fire Museum. And you would think a fire museum tour would just be sort of a yawn,
Right.
but no, it's fascinating. It really is. And I don't know if you got to go into the burn room, Tino, whenever
I
you were
did.
there. Okay.
I did. They took us in small groups, but we actually got to go
And do
all
a
through
tour.
it if you chose to. Some people didn't, but yeah, it was fascinating.
That
Yeah.
sounds spooky. Just
Yeah.
a burn room.
Yeah, the burn room is it's basically a spot where grade school teachers take their students to scare the living hell out of them, burning to death in the middle of the night. There's a bed that a young girl was laying on whenever her room caught fire, and they've got the posters, and I think it's Smurf sheets or something like that. And there's an outline of her like silhouette in the sheets. And whenever we do our tour and investigation, they pack us into this dark room and then play the audio, the dispatch from
911 call.
Yeah, from the child being transported all the way to the point. So it's it's not for the faint of heart. And those are some pretty impressive
she
theremin
die?
skills. I don't believe she survived. Oh man! So.
Fucking Smurf sheets.
Yeah. So it's but the fire museum, it does have really really interesting stuff too. And then it's had paranormal activity. It's been known as a haunted location for years. And when we do the tour through, a lot of times the staff that give the tour, I'll let them do the tour of the building itself. They won't talk a lot about it, and then I'll bring up something, and one of them will say, "Oh yeah, well, I was a skeptic until I saw that mannequin over there turn and look at me."
Right.
And you're just like, what the hell? Like, it really. And we did have the very first one we did there. It was a pretty quiet night, and right towards the end of the investigation, somebody used an EMF reader, which is electromagnetic, detects fluctuations, electromagnetic energy. People believe ghosts use this to manifest themselves. And there's a display case at the bottom of a flight of stairs that leads up to the second floor, and it's got a signed baseball in it from way back when. And I have no idea what the significance of this baseball is, but one of our tour guests noticed that whenever they got the EMF reader near this baseball, it started going like crazy, like up into the woos. And
Say that again.
up into the woos, yeah. Now, there was another person who had a tap bell, which paranormal investigators use now, the one where you ring for service, ding,
Right.
And,
Wait, you ring for service? You ring for service for the spirits to come?
So people have started using these. They're attached to a wooden block, and it's one of those tap bell, like ring for service. And people will ask yes or no questions. Can you make this bell ring and stuff like that? And I was very skeptical about that sort of device working, but there was a guy who had one on this tour, and I said, "Hey, this baseball over here in this display case is getting a lot of EMF reading. Why don't you try placing a tap bell over there?" And he did, and it just started dinging by itself.
All by itself.
And it was like ding,
You
ding.
saw this.
Yeah, I was standing right there, and I was like, "That's wild."
And
And
there's no mechanism.
no, there's no mechanism. It's just a wooden.
Nobody in the burn room pulling a string.
No. There's no like, and it's not. It's just a very self-contained, very simple device, And it was dinging by itself, which blew me away. And it was right at that time. The same person, he had what was it's known as a cat ball, which is the El Cheapo tool.
They're literally cat toys.
Yeah, it's a cat toy that lights up whenever a cat bats it. It's a little round ball. It's clear plastic, kind of like those those phones from the 80s.
I
you
think,
can see
I
through.
think my daughter bought one for my cat upstairs.
Yeah,
I
so
think,
those.
yeah.
Ghost hunters have found that those are useful in communicating with the other side, and there are even these little ball holders. I guess it's what you got to call them. And they have
You gonna let that one go?
That's what I was going to say. That's what I call mine. Very, these days, very small holder.
I I got an over-the-shoulder cat ball holder. But no, these cat ball holders, they have a yes in one indentation and no on the other, and people put a cat ball in each of them and then ask questions, and sometimes they get these intelligent responses. But anyway, right as this tap bell is going off and stuff, this guy sets a cat ball
On the cat ball. On the cat ball.
set it on the
I'm
post
too sexy
of the
for
banister, and yeah, all of a sudden we heard this. No,
Oh,
no, we didn't. No. Actually, he set it on the banister, and then we heard this noise, like like a crack of plastic, and we turn and look, and the cat ball is gone. And there were 5 of us that were standing right around it, and we looked all over for that
gone.
thing. It was just gone. And where they ended up finding it, which if you've recently been in the building, do you know you'll know, from where those stairs are, it's pretty far distance to the very northern wall of the building. And there's a bunch of fire engines, antique fire engines parked in there. We found it all the way at the northern wall of the building on the other side of a tire from one of the fire engines in between the wall and the tire, which was just
Somebody kicked it, more or less.
It was like it was just batted off the, there was no way it could have moved that far, but it did. So that was kind of interesting. And then it was right at the end of the night. We had to say, all right, let's lock up. And
So, do you think it's the space itself, or the
Things that
things
have
that are or the things that are inside of it?
Well-
Like this baseball, for example, is probably.
Well, that's the thing. There are a lot of items from house fires in there, and I don't doubt that some of those might have been where people did perish. And I don't know if. I mean, I don't know. We're pretty attached to our
toys.
tangible objects these days.
Right.
Yes, yeah. So yeah. So exactly. Oh, materialism. But as yeah. Some of these people pass. I don't know if that's part of it. One theory has been tossed around. There were a couple houses that were on that site before the fire station was built. Many people believe that the major ghost, at least the staff there, they think it's the first fire captain at the station. Who was there from 1908 until 1939. He ran the place, and he was very dedicated to it. And a lot of the activity they attribute to him. So, and plus, he just was spooky as hell looking too. There's a photograph of him at the bottom of the stairs in the basement, which send a shiver down your spine.
Did he die there? Or
No, he did not. He died of cancer, actually. Okay. He didn't die in the building, but he was very, very, very dedicated to it. So he spent pretty much. And one thing I learned during the tour, they were working fighters back then. It was your shift was 6 days a week. You had 6 days on, 1 day off. So you basically had 1 day a week that you could be in your own home, sleep in your own bed. So yeah, he spent a lot of time there. So even if he didn't die in the space, I could see where working 6 days a week in this one particular building from 1908 till 1939, you'd have a bit of an attachment to it.
Yeah, right.
Tad, I don't know if I've asked this question in a previous podcast. I don't think I have, but you said a couple things earlier now that make me want to ask it. Obviously, you have a fascination with this because you do it, but you also mentioned a very important word that goes along with it, skepticism. So how does that work? I mean, you would think that somebody who's fascinated by what you do would have no skepticism, would be just, open up, let me get it all. And yet, how do those two?
How do I fit those two
How
together?
do skepticism and fascination combine for you to be so successful at what you do? I mean, are you? Because you're looking to educate and entertain people, but at the same time you're telling me, and I'm very skeptic myself. Because I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
Very skeptical.
Well, and I've actually had quite a few people tell me before that one reason they enjoy my tours so much is because I'm not presenting the information as if like, woo, this. I know I have a bit of pragmatism about this. I try to say, like that doesn't makes sense. And you have to be discerning nowadays. I mean, hell, there's AI. It was one thing I often use to do research is the internet and YouTube. Last night I was watching a video. I was scrolling through haunted things in Columbus, and there was this like 6 or 7 minute video about the most haunted street in Ohio being just outside of Columbus, and it was called Maple Street. And there was a kid who disappeared. And there were all these murders and stuff. And then the imagery to accompany the video showed the street sign, and it was MAPPLE. Maple, like I'm like, this is clearly like AI generated, and there is no basis whatsoever in any of this in reality. So you have to be. I mean, yes.
We're just gonna fake the second half of the show if you guys want. I'll just plug it in.
Whitney's smart. Whitney could probably AI this whole podcast.
Chat GPT the thing away, but no. But I mean, so that's I always have. Approach these stories like I believe people. If people tell me they've had an experience, I'm not going to. Who am I to say? Oh no, that doesn't make sense. Like bullshit. But
you can't cuss.
Oh wait, is this? Are we on the?
So the guy who said shit and fuck 9 times before we
began. Yeah. So, because my tongue's about to get a lot looser.
Let's go.
Loose
we may have to dive into something else the way things are going. This is spooky good, by the way.
It is delicious. Yes, it is.
You don't know what's in it.
I wish you had a name for it.
It does. It has a name for it.
What's it called?
Dick's Bastard Blend. because Richard was a bastard. He was a bastard. But he made a good whiskey.
Or several of them, right? Yeah. So that's yeah. So I mean, like, so I do try to if I hear a ghost story, I mean, I'll take it at face value from someone, and I believe them. But then I also will do the follow-up research to see if there's any
you need
merit.
proof. You need proof is a harsh is a strong word.
Yeah, but
just collaboration.
You need something.
Collaborating.
Yeah. I like to.
If you talk to professional mediums or professional ghost historians, we encourage you.
Yes.
They encourage you to be skeptical because it just helps prove their case.
So be skeptical, because when you find out and you get collaborating evidence, all of a sudden, then it validates your skepticism.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and that's what
or invalid.
Did you? All right, I'm gonna go back further.
Oh no,
I'm gonna go back further. Did you, as growing up, as a kid, hearing ghost stories and whatnot? Were you skeptical as a child? Did you believe in ghosts, or did you not believe in ghosts?
As a young child, I was very convinced that they were about. Did
you have experiences where you felt like something happened?
So my very first bedroom as a small child, had the door to the attic in it, and I had a couple older brothers.
Of course, your room was close.
It was the door that led to the attic.
That's the way I would write that movie.
That's it, Dino. And I had older brothers who had lived there before, and they'd placed these kind of Scooby-Doo glow in the dark like monster eyes at the back of the doorway there. So like I was like 3 or 4 years old. And, and I was just like waiting for the bats to come out and stuff. So whenever I was a very young age, my father was a carpenter, and when I learned that meant he made things, I asked him to make a bunch of tombstones so we could have a cemetery in our front yard. So I was always
at Halloween, right? This wasn't in July.
Easter?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't at Halloween. No, I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was just like, I want a cemetery, Dad.
So you were kind of a dark child.
Yes, I was.
You were a dark child.
I was. So I always, but as a teenager, I mean, I was very much like, very skeptical of the paranormal. I spent all my time there.
So you go from being a dark child to a skeptical teen.
Goth?
But I was goth. Yeah. I spent all my time hanging out in the cemetery next to my house. Like, we moved out to the country at that point, and I lived in a house that was just, just steps away from the cemetery. And I don't know if we've mentioned this or talked about this on a podcast in the past or not, but yeah, so this house, my parents were building this place out in the country, and there was a neighbor. He was a very nice older man. He was a widow and widower, and he lived in this house, and he would look after our property while we were away. My dad traveled for work, and so he would mow the lawn and all that, and he became a family friend and would eat dinner with us every night and stuff. And one night in the middle of summer, when I was a teenager, it was very, very, very hot time of year, and my mom got up the next morning and realized that Andy, the neighbor, hadn't cracked the windows on his car, which is something people did back then when it was a hot day because they were afraid their windows would shatter. And she said, "There's something wrong with Andy. He hasn't cracked his windows." I was like, "Oh, don't be such a mom about this. I'm sure he's fine." And she's like, "No, he might be down there dead." And I was like, "I'll be right back." And I went running down to his house and knocked on the door to see, because I was intrigued about that detail. And when I got down to the front porch, I could hear his TV playing, and I was pounding on the door, and he wasn't answering. And then my mom and dad showed up quickly, and they said, "Bucky, go back to the house." They knew something was wrong. And as I was walking back to my house, there was a back door to his house that I thought, "What the hell? I'll give it a shot." It was unlocked, and I went in, and I found him dead in the kitchen. He was laying in front of the kitchen, in front of the refrigerator. He was blue, and he had his hands like this in front of his chest. And
Clenched?
yeah, they were like this. And he was just laying flat on the kitchen floor.
That's how you found him.
Yeah. And
So he died like this.
yeah, he died like that. And there was never an autopsy performed. But anyway, my parents bought that place, and they moved me in there as a teenager, so I would have a bit of independence before I went to college, and
This explains so
You
much.
lived in Dead Andy's house by
Yes.
yourself?
Yes, I did. I did. And one thing that really
Chad's reaching
John
for the
says,
bottle,
I
ladies
need
and
a-
gentlemen.
Jason, do you mind grabbing some more ice, please?
We're just getting into Dead Andy here.
Oh my
We
god.
The
got-
ice cubes.
Yeah, Bucky living in Dead Andy's house as a teenager. Oh my God,
yeah.
this shit writes itself.
So one thing that would happen is quite often my neighbors or my friends would come over, and they'd get locked in the bathroom, and they couldn't figure out how to get out. And it was strange because it was only friends. I never had any problem getting locked in the bathroom. It was never a thing at all. Now, another thing too, this was rural West Virginia. Oh, here you are. In the late 80s, early 90s. So all the radio stations just played country all the time, which was not my thing. So I had an old it was an alarm clock that was in the kitchen or in the bathroom that I would it was the kind that was here, I'll take one too.
Take one.
Oh,
Take
I'm
one.
sorry.
There's some
Thanks for
small.
being
There's some
nice.
smaller cubes that we can get to as well.
No, that's good. So yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you, Jason.
Sorry, I was trying not
Thanks,
to interrupt
Jason.
your story.
Oh,
and
no,
all
no,
I
no,
did was
you're
just
fine.
do the opposite.
No, you're
Sorry.
good.
We're
Chef.
almost
All
out of ice.
Country stations.
So
play country
so I
music.
had this cassette player. It was an alarm clock. It had a cassette player and a radio player. It was kind of had a knob on the side where you have to turn it to go from AM to FM to cassette tape and all that. And I would listen to cassette tapes when I was getting ready for school in the morning. And whenever I come home from school at night, my mother would say, "You left the radio on so loud I could hear it in our house," and I had to come down and turn it off. And I'm like, "No," I'm like, "I never listen to the radio. It's only cassettes," And this happened so often, we thought that someone was breaking into the place. And then I had my first experience with what I would say is a sighting of a ghost.
Andy,
Was it Andy?
I believe so. So it was.
was he like this?
No. So this is the thing. I was, and I mean, I was someone who was trying to think of like there's a rational explanation for all these things. Someone's breaking in, they're turning the stereo on in the bathroom for some reason, then leaving.
That's what get them.
Yeah, what would that Batman villain's name be? Just goes around doing that.
I wish I wish I was quick enough to think of one.
Well, that's the Dick's bastard
I
blend.
blame Dick's bastard blend for not being able
That's the name
to.
of it.
Yeah,
Bastard.
yeah. So, I was in high school. I took I auditioned at the behest of a friend to be in community production of Dracula, and community theater.
What part?
Community theater. I was a steward.
Okay.
So I wasn't. And it's interesting that the guy that they hired that got that part was like a.
Oh, you didn't get the part?
I wasn't Dracula. No, I was Stewart. I did
You
get
were
the part.
Stewart.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
you got
Stewart,
it.
yeah.
You were it. You were
But
it.
but I wasn't Dracula. And
Did you want to be Dracula?
I wanted to be Dracula.
Oh, of course.
And they gave Dracula to this guy from a little bit further southern West Virginia with a bit of a twang. So he had sort of that, I want to bite your neck. You know?
I don't think
but-
I would find that to be a
I'd watch
convincing
that.
No,
performance at all.
no. He really kind of.
I won't drink your blood.
Let's empty that thing out.
I like wine.
I never drink wine. Yes, that's it. Children of the night, listen to their call. But it was so.
Okay, I take it back. Now I do want to see that production. now I want to see that production all the way through.
Let's put that one on.
I think I did a damn good job as Stewart, but anyway, I was studying for this, and it was in the middle of August, and it was a really hot day, and I'm laying on a couch in the living room of this house with my script in front of me, and at my feet there's a long hallway that goes down where the bedrooms and bathroom and all that are off to the side, and I'm reading and I see something out of my peripheral vision over my script, my book, and I lower it, and there's this mist that's just sort of hovering, and it's like a cigarette smoke that's
How old are you?
I was like 16 at the
16,
time,
16,
and
okay.
it was really thick, but it was like a really thick cigarette smoke that moved slower and with more intention, and I was trying to wrap my head around what I was experiencing. Was this it's a hot day, is there an air conditioning vent at the end of the couch, and maybe that's
So
condensation?
you're still at 16. You're still analytical and trying to figure
Yeah,
it
and
out.
I'm trying to figure out, like, yes, what could this possibly be? Like, is it the air conditioning, all that? And I had no good sense of depth with this mist. So at one point, I lifted my leg up like that, and when I did, the mist went up, and then it came down. So I realized it was like over me, and as it was about, I don't know, like
when
seven.
you say, covering you?
It was like about 7 to 8 inches above me.
Above
I'm laying
you, but
flat
hovering
on the
above
couch,
you.
but it's like above me, and it's just sort of the swirling mist. And it's,
waiting to pounce.
It's then that instead it dissipated. Maybe it didn't like what it saw. And, this was
I'm good.
late 90s. I had like the peroxide bangs, my skater thing. But it dissipated, and it was only after that I realized, like, wow, I think I just saw a ghost, And it's only been in recent times, whenever I've been sharing this story with people, that I put together, like, oh, yeah, it was a very hot day in August, when I was a teenager, whenever Andy died, and it was a really hot day in August. Whenever in August, I don't know the exact anniversary, I can't remember that, but I'm like, it could have been close to the anniversary of his death. But the most chilling thing that happened in that house was one morning I got up and I was getting ready for school, and it had those the shower had those kind of opaque but somewhat translucent plastic sliding doors.
Right,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm taking a shower, and when I slide the door open, directly across from me is the vanity, and in the steam in the mirror, "Hello, Bucky" is written, and it's,
No!
it was. Yeah, I swear to God. And the no, it was nuts.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. as a heart-
correctly?
Yes,
Spelled
it was spelled correctly. It was spelled correctly.
So
It
it
is.
wasn't the star of Dracula.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Holy
No, it wasn't
shit.
Dracula. But I mean, the condensation was still dripping down the end from the
God.
bottoms of the letters, and there's still like there's like the beads going down, and yeah, it was that plastic. Like see-through shower
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way anyone could have
didn't-
snuck
No,
in
You
there.
didn't have a stalker or anything.
No,
did
and I
you,
mean,
at
no.
the
Then that
time?
was like 6 a.m. I mean, hell, I scared the
Yeah.
ghost away with my peroxide bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, my-
no.
Okay.
So that was really one of the most wild experiences I've ever had. And that
So,
was
and how old were you then?
I was a teenager.
You were a
I mean,
teenager.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Still in
I
high
was-
school.
It was my
16.
Yeah, it was my junior year.
So how does someone who comes out of a shower and sees "Hello, Bucky" written in mist or condensation on the mirror. As an adult who's conducting a ghost tour, how do you experience that and still have I'm a little skeptical?
Well, so that that was one of those things that all those experiences I had in that house, it was just sort of like, oh, that can't possibly be.
It had to be.
And I'm like, write it
did
away.
Did you explain that away?
I,
Hello, Bucky?
I think I did. I thought somebody must have, while I was
How?
shampooing
Who?
who would have done
The
that?
cast members were playing a joke on
No,
it.
no,
I
no.
know,
It's
I
6
was-
o'clock in the morning.
No,
He's
this
getting
is
ready
6 in
for
the morning,
school.
and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Like I didn't live in town. I was 10 miles from the downtown area in my small rural town. So it was.
Is your hearing good?
Yeah.
Was it good then?
It was good then.
You would have heard somebody
I
coming in
would
the
have
bathroom.
heard someone.
You would have heard somebody coming in the
So
bathroom.
so it is one of those things. It's after the fact that I'm like, okay, when I look at all of these series of events, I'm like, it makes sense. But and even though I did have that private experience, and I've had others on tours and stuff, it's still sometimes it can be something else that where you're getting a little. It's just a strange natural occurrence that happens, and you read it as paranormal, so you don't always know. It's it's just one of those things that
That's
it's a
scary.
mix. But yeah,
That's scary.
Show me that
it
again,
was a
John,
scary one.
please.
So
Where we're at? Okay.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
So,
totally good.
all right. No, I'm kind
That's
of
scary.
fascinated. Yeah. I mean, have any of you had anybody write "Hello, Chip" in the condensation on your mirror? Or
I
anything?
wish.
Well,
Only in blood.
yeah, right.
Only in
I
blood.
woke up with this tattoo on my ass once.
That I could see, but that I could explain away.
Yeah. No, it was a very when I think back on it, it was jarring. At the time I was so like
Were you freaked?
I was confounded. That's
Confounded?
yeah.
Different than freaked
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it was.
Confounded is
Yeah, it was I was confounded. Yeah, and I still, I used to like joke about like my friends all getting locked in the bathroom and stuff, and then I was just like, wow, okay, this is.
So you were looking for an explanation
Yeah, I was trying to find an explanation.
before, instead of being like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
you were looking like,
Well-
this is bullshit. I got to figure it out."
I have to admit that when I slid the shower door open and saw that, I was kind of like, I've had that like heart jump in your throat sort of moment, and then I was like, no, there has to be a rational explanation.
So when
for
you
this.
saw it say, "Hello, Bucky," did you go, hello? Hello?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Like, did you like
Walking around the house.
No, I was just like, I was shocked, and then my initial reaction was, maybe had someone gotten into the bathroom and was in the bathroom when I was
I mean, that's what I would think. That somebody would have
taking
snuck
a
in.
shower and stuff. But then I'm like, there's no one that would have done that, and the fact that it was still like it was so fresh that the beads
That
were
the
still
beads
were
were. Yeah,
still
you got to look at all the
dropping
evidence.
from the end of
and
each
then
letter at the bottom.
Try to contradict. Hey, at least it didn't say "Die, Bucky."
No, it didn't say die, Bucky, die.
There's that.
Yeah.
It didn't say "Die, Bucky."
Didn't you have you had a kind of an experience in here that was
I've had many experiences in
Okay,
here, but never anything.
one?
Never anything as dramatic as
Hello.
as
Hello.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You conserve the hot water, or you've been in the shower long enough. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing like
Yeah.
that.
It says
No.
hack on your thing.
Hello.
You left hair in the drain, that sort of thing.
No. I mean, you know Mike McGrainer.
Yeah.
We all know Mike McGrainer. Sure. Yeah, he stayed in my. He's the he's heard the ghost more than anybody has in his house. That supposedly, and I've not heard anything from the ghost in a long time, but he heard somebody hitting this heavy bag.
A punching bag.
Punching bag. Someone hitting the punching bag on a regular basis. He's seen orbs. We've talked about orbs in the past on this podcast. But one thing we've never talked about, and I don't know how we've escaped this conversation. I guess because you've had so many fascinating stories about what has happened on these tours and the tours that you share. I think this is the first time we've ever dug into
My personal
your
experiences.
personal experiences,
Which explains a lot.
Which it's all connective tissue
Yeah.
to where you're at right now
It
and why
is.
you do what you do. But man, okay,
Yeah.
I got nothing
Yeah.
to compare to that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard stories. You
Yeah.
know, I hear my family talk about you know, religious, more religious ghost stories than anything else.
Yep.
About how, you know, my aunt was sick when my grandmother had her children, and they were sick, and Gina was sick, and they went to church, and they got a rose, and the rose kept its petals because it was blessed by the Virgin Mary, and it kept its petals for months before they finally, you know, and it was blessed and all this stuff, and being visited by the Virgin Mary. I've heard all these religious stories from my family.
The supernatural from a religious perspective. Yeah,
religious stories. You know, my Aunt Gina being visited by the Virgin Mary. That's one of the religious stories in my family. I'm cutting to the chase on that one. You figure out the rest.
Does
But,
that track knowing Gina?
no, my Aunt Gina.
Is she pure?
What's that?
She pure?
Oh, she was pure. Oh, yeah.
Is she
you're
still
talking-
with us?
No, Aunt Gina was the first of the aunts to pass. The other ones are doing just fine. My Aunt Gina, my Aunt Nikki, and the Queen right now. My mother. Go ball buster.
Well, here's to that.
Here's to that. But yeah, but all my stories are secondhand. You know, didn't happen to me per se, but happened. And I've had experiences here in the house. We've talked about them on podcasts before. The banging of the cabinets and
What's the story with the framed photo that you were going to get to eventually? But
the frame photo. Where
was
we
that
at
one
on-
of the stories you were talking about?
Well, this
I wanted to end with that, I thought.
I wanted to end with it.
Okay,
but
never mind. You don't have to tell it now.
We'll come back. We'll come back to again.
I just didn't want you to forget it.
I'll show you the picture. I might forget it because it might not be that interesting. That's Neil, and I'll tell you the haunted story that involves Neil, who actually played poker at this table. Or did he? Or did he? He did.
Yeah, he did.
That happened.
Good old.
happened.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Let's get back. Let's get back. Unless there's an even more frightening story that you haven't shared as you got. That was your teen years.
Yeah.
In your adult years,
Yeah.
was there something that happened? Is there anything that happened that was super scary, spooky, before you started Columbus Ghost Tours?
No, I didn't really have a lot of other super.
It was in your teens.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
most of it.
I had those experiences in my teens, and then college was a
lot of different spirits.
yeah. So it was. It was. And it wasn't really until I started doing the ghost tours that
Do you find that when you open yourself up to this world, that more stuff comes in?
Yeah, it can. It can. I try to be pretty good at blocking that sort of thing.
How do you block?
Well, I usually just something strange will happen, and I'll just be like, "Oh no! I'm gonna read some Kurt Vonnegut. I'm gonna put on a Golden Girls, a marathon, like something like
Really?
yeah,
a Golden Girls marathon will block evil spirits.
it's tried and true.
Thank you for being a friend.
No, it's just like
and which Vonnegut, by the way, would you pick up to read?
Oh, I mean,
Any of them? Breakfast of Champions?
Yeah, I love all his stuff. Sirens of Titan. Yeah, but it's just one of those things. Like, because I've noticed, like, younger, like, you get spooked, and you really allow that energy to have a hold over you. It just seems to get worse and worse and worse.
Snowball effect, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So,
well, the reason I ask that is because everybody talks about, no, don't play with a Ouija board. It's a portal to hell, and you open up opportunities for these things to come in.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time. Well, you let them in. You let them in when you did this and you didn't do that, to prevent it.
And there's a lot of people, like, on our cemetery tours, they're like, we need to do a cleansing ritual before we leave the cemetery at night, and that sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. I watched the Golden Girls.
That's my cleansing ceremony.
Put-
I don't really like the scent of sage, so I watch the Golden Girls.
Yeah. I found so an episode of Empty Nest will do just fine. These,
Oh my God! You watched a lot of sitcoms over the course of your life, did you not? You went back to sitcoms from the '60s with Petticoat Junction and Green Acres and so forth. Now Empty Nest, and because I'm
Too
a big-
close for comfort. You
I'm
gotta-
a big.
rural West Virginia again. That's yeah.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah,
Nothing else to do.
it's
We'll watch
the
sitcoms.
woods and the television. Yeah. So I did have, like, when I started doing the tours, I started having weird stuff happen in my house, and that's what was like, oh, okay, I don't.
So what? And how do you explain that? You weird stuff. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start doing ghost tours, and the ghosts are like, oh yeah, well, okay, if you're gonna start doing ghost tours,
Right.
we're gonna start paying you a visit and kind of fuck with you a little bit.
Hold my
in the
wine.
meantime, yeah.
Yeah.
You think that was it? I mean, again, do you think you opened a door?
Well, I think I was more open to the possibility of these things happening. So, by looking for it, like, hey, I'm really interested. I want to hear from these whoever's here, or whatever is occupying the space, or interact with it in any way. Then all of a sudden they're like, okay, and it doesn't happen that often anymore, really. But because, like I said, I feel like I've gotten pretty good at blocking it. But doing these
Blocking it, or they've accepted you and they're like, let them go.
okay, maybe so.
You know what? Obviously,
That's what someone.
when he said he was going to do this, we thought if we could fuck with him the first year, he'd go away. But apparently he's going to stick it out. So
That's
go.
I've had someone one time. I caught a weird, and it wasn't anything supernatural, I don't believe, but it was in front of the Ohio Theater. I was walking, and there was this weird, like, wisp of something white that was just sort of like fluttering around, and it wasn't an insect. I don't know what it was, but I started recording it, and I posted on one of our social media accounts, and somebody was like, "Do you think that you might be kind of famous on the other side?"
On the other side.
They're all like,
That's
they're all
a
like,
great theory.
yeah, well, they're all like,
very
"Oh, hey,
interesting.
we know him,"
Because we don't know what
Interesting.
the other side is. We don't know what's going on there.
No.
And if they can actually see everything that's
Yeah.
going on, maybe you're very popular.
Your social media's blowing
because you're
up.
on the other side.
so whenever we do
because
this,
you're keeping
whenever we
their
do this podcast
Yeah.
After our death,
you're keeping their stories
Stories
alive.
alive,
You're
yeah.
keeping them like they're walking around going like Bucky added a German village tour.
Does he know about Augie?
Inga, go check him out. Yeah.
Added a German, so things are gonna,
Lederhosen.
yeah, right.
Dirndl.
Darndle.
That's. I mean,
Yeah.
the imagination explodes when you start to think about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
and dealing with on the other side.
Yeah.
Movie idea.
Yeah.
Johnny, write that one down. The other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
other
that's
side.
the other side. I know just the song
You
for it.
could be. You could be. And then and I hope it's a long time from now.
Thank you.
But when you die and cross over to the other side, they're gonna be like, Bucky! Hey!
Yeah, it'd be like,
Ah! Applause!
I'll be like, and we met where?
Do you recognize me? Do you recognize me?
Go
You know what I'm talking about?
Andy.
Yeah.
Here's
Remember me?
Here's what you got wrong.
I was your first one.
You'll be just as skeptical up there on the other side as you were down
Yeah, I'll
here.
be like, okay.
And just as evasive.
So you and your cousin came on a tour once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
No, I was talking more about the actual spirit you're talking about. That you actually run into them.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey. But that there is that theory of some paranormal investigators. They say, the more time you spend in a specific space investigating it, the more comfortable they get with you, and the more they'll interact. And doing our tours and investigations, like at the Cultural Arts Center, the Fire Museum, and the Thurber House, we've had quite a few people that have come repeatedly on. They've come like we do
Really?
like one a month at each spot, and there'll be people that come on every single one. And there've been some people where they feel like they're developing a relationship with these
Interesting.
Like ghost groupies.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a paranormal investigator now? Because you used to not.
No, I don't. I
But
still
that's what you
don't.
do now,
I still
though.
don't.
But
It's-
no,
it's-
he doesn't investigate so much as he visits.
I provide people with investigative equipment,
You're the facilitator.
and I'm chronicling the things that people are having happen in these spaces.
Okay, you've written books. There's been books.
Yeah.
So is there another book out there that's just not like the ones you've written that you're thinking about that kind of details some of the more personal experiences?
Actually, it's funny you should ask that. A while back, somebody, one of my dear friends and one of our guides, she got me a gift. It's called "To Be Read Upon My Death," and it's a it's a big, thick, blank book with prompts.
With prompts in it, yeah. Those are great. Those are great.
Yeah, and just recently I was like, yeah, I might just grab a pen and put it on the nightstand at the end of every evening. Just jot down these.
A pen and a blank book or a notepad at the nightstand. I have one.
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night. There's a whole
No idea.
poem sitting up on my nightstand as we speak. It's a little dark, but
bunch of rhyming words.
no,
Dark,
Just-
park.
just a little dark. But yeah, you should do that. You should fill it out.
Yeah, that's what, so. Yeah, so I've thought about doing that because I do like to keep it a little like a blank like journal, bedside for like dreams and ideas.
Yeah,
that
yeah, you
pop
should.
up in the middle of the night.
I
Sure.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
And the next morning when I try to read it, I
So you're
can't
like,
read my
what
own
the hell was
writing.
that? Yeah.
What the hell I was trying to say.
It was
Yeah,
during
I
the
don't remember anything.
especially
Yeah.
during the pandemic
Yeah.
when someone suggested I take melatonin to help me sleep because I was having trouble sleeping in the pandemic. Melatonin gave me the craziest dreams. Yeah.
Craziest dreams?
Oh God, the movie length dreams.
Oh, really?
Even though they say dreams don't last very long,
Yeah, they're supposed to be like seconds.
but I still haven't figured out that connection because why is something that only lasts seconds? When I woke up, I
in your
remember
temporal.
I remember everything. They were like crazy movie
Yeah.
dreams, like
Which-
whole plots.
Yeah.
Which that's something that always terrifies me about death. Because they say like your life passes before your eyes, and your brain might retain electrical activity after the body,
Right.
for a few moments. And I'm like, if a couple seconds of a dream can seem to last for hours,
Right.
like what if it's like a minute and a half of after your heart stops beating that your brain remains active, like. That's
I've always wondered about
something-
that theory that
yeah.
your life flashes before your eyes before you die. And I've always wondered about that. I'm like, what parts of my life are going to flash? What is death going to consider to be the sizzle reel
And I'm sorry if we're in it. I apologize
of
already.
my life? What's going to be the significant life flashing in front of my eyes? Are you guys going to be in it? Is there
I
gonna
hope
be like,
so.
Is there going to be like a millisecond of a
won't be.
podcast?
We won't
Is this
be.
going to be in it? I wonder
Yep.
what's your life flashes in front of your eyes, because there's a little bit of truth to that
Yeah.
in a sense. When my old man died, and I've told the story on the podcast before, and I actually shoveled the dirt into his grave on the island in Icaria. My life with him started to flash. There were
Yeah.
flashes.
Of all those significant moments.
For you would understand if you were making a movie, cinematic flashes that you would like boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah, yeah.
boom.
Sure.
That popped into my head as I was
Yeah.
shoveling each pile of dirt into the thing, and it's like, so I wonder what that when your life flashes, your life flashes before your eyes. Before you die. Well, what if I live to be 80? That's a lot of life.
There's a lot there.
Who's picking the highlights?
Yeah.
Who's editing
Yeah.
up and who's editing up and having it say,
exactly.
here you go, he's dying. Here, throw this out there.
We're going to want him to remember this.
And the other thing I have also questioned is once you pass and cross over, and if you are famous in the afterlife, how many people are going to say like, Yeah, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
You got it wrong.
That's something I wonder about a lot of times when I'm and particularly doing the night tours in Green Lawn Cemetery, and I'm talking about these people and their stories.
That's not the way it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of them, their stories, their names haven't been shared in over a century, and I'm trying to keep their stories alive. But all I can do is gather what I can from old newspapers and ancestry and different stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, what if I die and all of a sudden I got all these people who are just like tapping their toe with their arms crossed, waiting for me.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some are gonna be like,
A
"Hey,
brothel,
Bucky,
really?
oh man, oh man,
There
thanks
you
for keeping
are.
my story
Yeah,
alive."
yeah.
And other people going like, "You totally fucked that up.
Mhm.
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. it was not a butcher's knife.
Right. You got me so much shit with my wife.
Which I try, I try to always hold all these people in the utmost respect.
Sure.
When I'm sharing
And
their
I-
stories.
But don't come after me. I don't mean to be disrespecting anybody
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
I already
but-
got enough ghosts in this house.
But yeah, I wonder if there might not be times where that's like maybe when I'm trying to piece together the history, because I mean it's all I've had times before where people have tried to criticize my stories and be like, well, that's not true, that's not how it happened. And I'm like, well, there's no way for you to know that any more than I, based on the facts. We just sort of have to piece it together. It's historic interpretation. You don't get, unless you were there, you don't know, and even then it's subjective. Really. So it's like just taking like, okay, well, we know this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened, and this has got to be the narrative that I'll go with, because it's ghost stories. The one that makes the most sense to me. But
Marge.
Be like, yeah, sorry, I tried it. Yeah.
This is what I love about John Whitney. He has been 95% silent through this whole podcast, and then when he does open up his mouth, he fucking delivers. He waits.
I'm
he
tired
waits,
today, so.
He waits, and smacks
Perfect
it.
one.
I'm a sniper.
I love it. All right, let's get some information out there, because we're starting to wrap up. We're getting close to wrapping up, and we need to get some information out there about this. First of all, I thought we were just going to hear more. We did hear some creepy stories about some of the stuff that's on the tours. You mentioned the Columbus Fire Museum, German Village, but what I really love about this particular visit with you is
the history
is
about
the history of Bucky.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Some of
We
my
never got into
my
as much.
origin story.
Yeah,
Origin
your origin story.
Yes.
Exactly, man. That, Dead Andy.
Yeah, Dead
Andy.
That's amazing.
That's
Yep.
crazy. And I think it was Dead Andy.
Yeah.
That was hovering,
Oh, yeah, I think so.
hovering above you.
I think so.
So there was a time then that you had to move out of that house. You packed all your bags and you loaded up the truck. You're getting ready to move somewhere. I don't know where.
It was a dorm in
What happened
Otterbein.
exactly? And the house is being sold. What happened there?
well-
Was anything unusual happen?
Well,
Did
no-
Dead Andy say goodbye?
He did not.
Rude.
Yeah, and my parents didn't sell the house; they kept it. They eventually sold it, but
And put another teenager in that house.
yeah,
And made sure to tell them the story.
yeah. But I did that last day whenever everything was empty. Yeah, I walked through and sort of said my goodbye. So I mean,
That's interesting. Why did you do that?
because I kind of came to the realization that that there was something going on in that house, and I felt like, I mean, it was. I told you like initially, like in the moment I was like, no, there's nothing. But thinking about it over and over, I'm like, okay, I didn't feel like I was alone there, and I felt like it was Andy, and that's
And you were okay with that?
well, it's a kind of a weird position for a teenager.
Yeah.
To be in when they live in a house
go to
by
college.
themselves, and they can do all these things by themselves, and they don't want to think of any invisible person just sort of watching.
things Andy saw.
That could be another movie.
And also, what year was this?
This is the late '80s, early
Late
'90s.
'80s. How progressive are your parents?
Yeah,
to actually put you into to buy Andy's place and to put
Yeah.
you in there by yourself to kind of condition you for the future.
Yeah, and, no,
Yeah,
and
and
it
to
was,
make you clean up the mess in the kitchen.
yeah.
I mean, what is
it
up
was.
with that?
No, it was very helpful. And like whenever I whenever I came to college and everyone was just acting a fool, I was like, nah, I don't need to. They want to go do stupid shit. And I'm like, yeah. I'm good. I've already been there. Yeah, so,
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so I'm like, drinking a 3 liter of Mountain Dew with 1 liter of it poured out and a grain alcohol bottle poured in, like in the cemetery. That's
In
what
the
we.
cemetery, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, so I had all that out of my system for that.
Is there anything else you want to share with us that I haven't covered because I got so fascinated with your past?
Oh.
Other than the fact that before we go, I want to make sure everybody knows how to get a hold of you and how to contact you, and because this will drop next week, which will still be smack dab in the middle of the Halloween season. So but Columbus Ghost Tours is all year long. This
Is.
This is just an October Halloween.
No,
thing.
it is not.
No,
It's
no.
not. It's just harder to get tickets in October.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess the one thing I would like to mention. So there is a national ghost tour company now that is going from city to city and trying to Walmart the whole ghost tour
Trying
experience.
to steal your thunder a
well,
little bit.
they sort of just make it just like a broad-based thing. And last year they were in 75 cities. This year they're in 250. And one thing is they part of their business tactic seems to be they tend to try to mimic it appears the listing of the locally owned and established ghost tour business, and they're here now. So if anyone viewers are looking for us, just make sure it is columbusghosttours.com.
Look for the legit one, the real
The
one, the
original.
legitimate one, the one that's been here for a minute, not the Walmart brand that's coming in and trying to fucking suck the life out of this one.
yeah, which we're holding our own just fine.
Yeah,
with that.
good.
So not
Good.
not too much of a concern for us. I know a lot of other smaller ghost tour companies across the nation are suffering at the hands of that, but in competition is competition, whatever. But
Competition sometimes makes you,
what doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
right,
Yeah.
makes you stand up a little stronger and firm the shores.
It does. It's just I just want to make sure, because they make it very difficult to ascertain which tour is ours and which tour is theirs by their.
Ask for Bucky.
Yes, indeed. So so I just want to let everyone know.
Or
about that.
actually write it on a mirror.
And
Hello,
Steve.
Bucky.
I normally take my showers
We
around.
want Bucky.
Take my showers around like 9, 10 a.m. nowadays. I'm more of a night owl.
And from personal experiences, most of us, and not all of us, have actually taken your tours.
Yeah, I've been on it.
And they're great, and they are exactly what you say. They're great. They're entertaining. They're informative. They're fun.
based on history, but they're spooky.
Yeah, they're spooky, and you get to go to some interesting places, and you hear some great stories. Whether it be, if you're lucky enough to get Bucky, great. If not, if you get somebody else who's working with Columbus Ghost Tours, this man would not put anybody in a position like that that could not deliver as properly as he does. So
Indeed.
no matter who you get, be it Bucky or somebody else, you're in great shape. They're great. They're great fun.
Thank you so
They're
much,
good.
guys.
They're great
Good
fun.
fun.
And good exercise.
Yeah, I get to walk
Yeah,
around.
yeah, that's what, yeah.
You
That's-
walk around.
you
You'll
do.
get your steps in.
You will. That's what we did a tour of Ireland several years back before COVID, and that's what I thought about, like an extreme fitness sort of ghost tour experience. Where
That's
it's like,
funny.
you're gonna have
Closed
to.
my circles.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. You're gonna have to put the steps in if you want to.
All right, let's hear
Before we go, I'm going to give you you do the business, Hansberry, and then I'm going to do an abbreviated version of this story to close things out.
All right, Whiskey
Do the
Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey.
Yes.
What's Columbus Ghost Tours website and podcast or social media? I mean,
Our website is columbusghosttours.com, and all our social media, we started as a historic tavern tour, so it's all under the moniker Booze, 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 BOOS.
Love
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
John's
That's two.
Uh-huh.
He's silent.
He's awake.
He's silent.
That's 3.
It's 3.
No, you got three, yeah.
When I said hack was on the steamed
fun.
mirror.
Yep.
He's keeping count. Let's just start over now that John's finally feeling it.
Okay. Yeah. The rapier wit is here.
Keep busy.
A rapier wit only stabs when it needs to.
That's right. Well, cheers, John.
Whiskey business. The pod. I already said that. YouTube with whiskey business. Whiskey business with
Hit the
Mr.
subscribe
POTUS.
button.
Yep, and smash that little bell. Give
Yes.
a notification. Thanks for subscribing on all your favorite podcasting apps.
Yeah.
Thank you to Evergreen Podcast as well for
That's
being
it.
our family host.
And
Gotta get a gatos.
we're on the social medias, and just like Bucky, we're year round.
And
Yeah.
And thank you guys for having me on.
Oh
Again.
no,
no
it's
problem.
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I wish there was I
always
could
fun.
find excuses to have you on more often.
Oh, it's always a
But,
pleasure to be
you
here.
know,
So, yeah.
What were you guys?
So start working on a
TV
on a-
shows. You guys were you were
What?
you were
connecting
connecting
on TV
over
shows?
TV
Oh,
shows.
I'm a
or-
huge
Yeah,
TV
so you guys
we'll,
do a TV
we'll do a
show.
sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a sitcom. You know what? I would like to have him and Dan Swartout together.
That'd be good.
They'll look like a battle because Dan Swartout is one of my dearest friends,
Yeah.
but a TV nut and a sitcom nut.
Yeah.
One of his favorite shows is Mr. Belvedere.
Mm-hmm.
You all right? Okay.
My mom very heavily stole a line from that every time I would try to call off sick in
See?
grade school. She'd be like, "Oh no, it's their turn to have you." Quoting Mr. Belvedere.
Him and
Yep.
Swarty together would be a killer podcast. Okay. Did you get all your business in?
Yep. Yeah. We're
Oh
set.
yeah, I think so.
We
Yep,
want to
yeah.
hear about the.
Get a gatos.
Thank you
Try to
guys
get a
for
guy to-
supporting
As I
me,
mentioned
right?
before the podcast, at this table, there are a lot of scary things that happened over 15 years of playing poker here. Every Monday night, there was a game at this house right here, a $40 buy-in where people would play poker until midnight. Then the wild card games would come in. And this particular gentleman right here, this is Neil. Neil was a local barfly at the Blue Danube. This is at the Blue Danube, which is recently reopened,
Yes.
but at the time was open all the time. And we became friends with Neil and invited Neil to a Monday night poker game. Novel idea, right? Just for fun, just to see the old barfly.
Sure.
Neil became a staple at the poker game. Neil took a taxi cab from wherever he was at and wherever he lived and came here to play poker
At this very table.
at this very table. One night, Neil won a huge hand. And nobody thought that he had what he had. And when he won the hand and scooped up the chips, he was actually sitting in John Whitney's chair.
I
Oh,
was going to
shit.
ask which seat it was.
Did he have a heart attack?
He leaned back with such joy at winning the hand, and Neil drank a little. Neil leaned back, scooping in his chips, tipped that chair, fell down there, and cracked open his head. Now you see the picture of Neil. I don't know how old you think that would be. I would say somewhere in his 70s.
Yeah, probably.
I was in my mid 40s.
Okay.
Neil cracked his head open on that particular floor right there. And the game was over. And Neil wanted to go home. And I said, no, you're not going home. We covered his head. And I said, you need to stay here. And he went into the next room, laid down on my couch. We tended to his wound. He rested. The next morning, I checked on Neil. And he was
He had passed away.
no, he's fine. He went back to the Blue Danube the next day. He was good as gold, baby. Good as gold. Yeah. Good as gold. He got up.
I kept thinking you probably should be telling this story.
He got up, grabbed the taxi, went back to the Blue Danube.
Oh my God.
Then came back 2 weeks later, and then 2 weeks after that, he died in his sleep.
Oh, man.
But he didn't die from that blow on the head.
God.
No, that wouldn't have anything to do with it. So, if you ever go to the Blue Danube,
We start
ask him if there's any stories
about Neil.
about Neil or Ghost.
Is this picture at the noob too?
No, this picture, I don't know. This picture was taken here, actually.
It should be hanging at the Duke.
It should be hanging. He was actually a very, very sweet man who called everybody at the table an asshole. He was, I'm going to tell you, there could be a podcast just about Monday Night Poker.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Over here, and I would have to bring back all the guests from Monday Night Poker. But thank you all for being so wrapped with attention.
Oh yeah, it was.
No
I
ass.
kept kind of like getting
fantastic.
mad at you. I was like, someone died here and you never
Oh my
told me?
God, I know.
Yeah, holding out.
I was like kind of mad at him for a second.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a bartender, or used to be a bartender way back when at Dube. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
ask about
Ask about Neil?
Yeah.
How
I'm
long
gonna go
ago?
to the Duke.
'Cause
I wanna
This
go
is
there.
back. I came here and back in '94, and Neil was in the late '90s area
Okay.
of poker.
I don't know exactly how long that they went back. I'll have to check on that. But that's the Dube. That used to be another bit of my backstory. Whenever I was in high school or in college, when I came here, I got a job for the psychic hotline that operated out of German Village, and we would all, after our shift in the early '90s, we'd go to the Blue Dube, and that's where we'd have our dinner.
Okay, here's something nicely connected to the Blue Dupe and what you do, and the paranormal and the spooky and the crazy. Blue Dupe was my favorite place to be ever. I would go there when I was a stand-up comic, and I would go there and I would sit in a booth in the back. And George Margettis was the owner at the time. And I would sit in the back, and this is when you could smoke cigarettes in the Dube and so forth and whatnot. And I would sit there and I'd get a cup of coffee and smoke cigarettes. And George would say, "You want something to eat?" He's a Greek guy. And I go, "No, I'm good, George. Just coffee and cigarettes." "Okay." And you come back. "You going to eat? You want something else to drink?" "No, just a coffee." I was like, okay. And he goes, and he would, and I'd be sitting there writing stand-up and ideas and jokes early on in my stand-up career. And he goes, "What do you write? What do you write?" I go, "I'm writing jokes." He goes, "Jokes." He goes, "You sit in the same booth as the guy." "The guy." I go, "What guy?" "The guy that write that nighttime show." I go, "What? What are you talking about?" He come up from the college and he sit in the booth and he write that the nighttime, the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
And he's like, I go, "Rod Serling?" He goes, yeah. He's sitting in this booth.
No
And
way.
Rod Serling was in Antioch
Yes.
at Yellow
Yep.
Springs.
Yep.
And he would come up to Columbus, and the Dube was opened up in the 1940s,
Yeah.
I think originally, or 50s at the very latest. But the Dube was around forever,
Yeah.
and apparently Rod Serling would come up from
Always sit at
Antioch
the
and
last
hang
booth.
up the Dube and sit in this booth in the back, drink coffee and have a notebook and just fucking
That's a drive.
scribble away.
That's fantastic. Yeah, there actually there was recently, I think, an event honoring Sterling and his connection to Ohio. I saw, so that's cool.
It's very cool.
Fuck,
Very
I had
cool
no
story.
idea that he would.
And
hang out
why?
with the Dube.
And why? I asked John Whitney and Chip Cosell, who are film related, why has there not been a Rod Serling bio movie?
I have no idea. I think that'd be awesome.
I think
would
that'd
be
be
great.
great. Why
Yeah.
hasn't there been a bio movie about the guy that created one of the greatest fucking shows
Yeah.
ever?
Oh my
No.
God.
I know
there totally
Peele
should
made
be.
the reboot, but it's not the same.
So
What?
No.
Yeah, Jordan Peele did a reboot of Twilight
Yeah.
Zone.
No,
so
no. I'm not talking about a reboot.
I
I'm talking
know,
about
I'm
a
saying.
bio movie
Yeah.
about
About
Rod Serling.
Right.
I do have a big biography of him. So after Twilight Zone, he did a similar show called
Night
Night
Gallery.
Gallery,
Night Gallery.
which
Yes,
I,
Night Gallery.
which I had
which had some great episodes.
It was-
Not all of them great, but
the first couple seasons were
were
fantastic.
awesome.
Third season,
Similar to Twilight Zone.
it was, but all
in
darker.
color.
It was all,
Darker.
It was all paranormal. It was all
Yeah.
ghost and,
And
that sort of
in
thing.
color.
but
Yeah,
in color.
yes, in color.
And
Darker in color.
Even that opening sequence is
every
scary
opening
as
sequence.
hell.
So every
You know, with
opening,
the painting,
there would be a painting that would illustrate the.
they were also hour longs.
Yes, yeah, they were.
They were hour longs as opposed to the half-hour Twilight Zones.
Yeah, so quite a few years ago, I got the idea of doing a local night gallery thing where I would get a local artist to paint a painting based on a story that we would then have performed. Originally, we were going to do it at the Vanderelli Room, and then I thought maybe Studio 35. Like, you know, it would be really cool to do that. Just a localized live night gallery.
Cool.
You know, where I could just take some of the ghost stories, write them out, get a few actors.
That's a great idea.
Get an artist to do the
That's a great
painting, and then I'll take up smoking again and put on the
Take a
stand. You know,
I
step on
can't.
stage.
I can't tell you how many times I've wanted a cigarette throughout this entire podcast.
I know, I could tell.
But I made a promise to John that I would stop smoking on the podcast because
You
Yep.
reached for a couple times.
I did.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh man. Okay. As soon
then
as we
I'm-
wrap,
uh-huh.
I'm going upstairs and grabbing one. But
and right here I am on your left, just poking. You know?
no.
But
no,
I did go-
love,
It's
all right.
I love my boys,
Yeah.
and I do that for them.
Appreciate it.
This
Yeah.
was great,
Yeah.
man. This was
Bucky,
great.
thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
thank
this
you
was
all
great.
very,
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Continued
Thank you.
success.
Thank you
May
very,
the
very
tour
much.
get
It's
bigger
nice to meet you.
and
Yeah.
other things come of it
Yeah.
in the big picture. I don't know why someone like you isn't on a bigger platform on cable TV. Because I got to be honest, and I don't want to go longer on this podcast, but I want
Too late.
But seriously, I watch some of the ghost
Yeah.
shows that are on cable TV.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, but and they've been on for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
There's different breeds of people. There are some that really just want to watch someone. They don't care about the history. They just want to hear. They're like, oh, you know, is there evidence in that sort of thing? Yeah. But then I think
I
other
think
people.
you would be great on TV.
Well,
doing
thank you
something. So
very much. That's
So-
very kind of you. So.
If some executive on A&E or the History Channel or the Travel Channel or even
Discovery.
the Discovery, yeah, fuck, even the Cooking Channel, whatever the case might be, just
Take PBS.
Here he is. He's right here for the taking. Get him. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you to thank you to Echo Spirits. It is an empty spirit.
Yeah.
It's gone.
We drained the whole bottle. Thank you for
Lovely.
this Dick's Bastard blend that we were the only ones that got to taste this particular bottle. Nobody will ever
one will
taste
ever
this
know.
bottle again. This was us.
And
They'll
it
never
was
know.
Only us.
It was a
They'll
little
never know.
malty.
Thank
It had
you.
a little bit of a.
Yeah, very nice.
Coming
Yeah,
along, Bucky.
you know the bourbons.
Yeah.
Thank you to John Whitney on the video side who has put all this together. Chip Cosell, who's on all sides.
I'm very glad to be back. by
Yeah,
the way.
we
Missed the
missed
last
you.
two. I'm
we
so
missed you.
sorry.
We said
I was
nice
gone.
things
Oh,
about you
really?
on the last
You were? Oh,
podcast, by
thank
the
you.
way.
I didn't notice.
Oh, you know what? No,
you didn't.
No. We did, but they weren't recorded.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
For posterity.
Yeah, they were. Greg Hansberry on the audio side. Did you get last week's podcast up yet on
It's up.
audio?
Yeah, it's up.
It's up. All right. Okay. Good. Then Greg Hansberry on the audio side. Bravo.
Yes.
Well done.
Yep.
And Jason, his buddy over there, who just decided to
Jason,
pop
welcome.
in
He's the
and
APD.
just hang out. He's been very quiet and patient. My name is Dino Tripodis. We have a lot of things to share with you in the months to come. I got some good ideas for some podcasts coming up. I do, actually.
Maybe it's fine by the time you bring some to the table there, Dino.
Oh, after 8 years. And some exciting things to tell you, including our barrel from Echo Spirits as well.
Cannot wait.
It's
And
been.
Gatto's
Can you believe it's been almost 2 years since we did that?
Yeah.
Time
Can't believe
You
freaking
said that's
flies.
December.
Huh?
December.
December. It'll be 2 years old. All right.
All right.
Gotta
Gotta get a Gatto's.
Gotta get it. Well, gotta get a Gatto's. Award-winning Gotta get a Gatto's. Don't forget.
They're so cool. Thankful.
Yeah. Such great pizza, man.
Very
It
good.
is so good.
The Roberts
Maybe
family
lovely
is the Roberts family is just a great family, and Dave, who is our family destination, named it the #1 legendary pizza in Ohio that are worth a road trip.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they have great subs too.
34.20
Yeah.
and the sausage things
Sausage
that you like.
sandwich,
Big
yeah.
as your nipple.
The sausage slider.
It's
I'm talking about the sausage slider. Good.
sausage slider's awesome.
But yeah, it's pretty much that
What's as
big.
big as your nipple?
Oh
There's
my
sausage
God,
slices.
don't.
You got big nipples like
But
that,
yeah,
dude?
you were doing like a 33.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
It's like a slice of bologna.
You know those moments when you see the exit and you don't take it and you go, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. My name is Dino Tripodis. Until the next bottle. See ya.
Thank you. Bye.